Everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marsha Wald, and I am the owner of Art of Living Maui, located in Hawaii. And today we're just gonna talk about an amazing topic. Yeah, very juicy, which is how do you know what you want if you don't know what it looks like? How do you know what you want if you don't know what it looks like? And this just kind of seems like a given to me, like, everybody knows what they want. You do know what you want because pain is used to help you to identify the things that you don't want. We learn from very early that pain means if you do it and it hurts, that means that's not what you're supposed to do. And so, we approach life with the same thing, which I hope. But as sometimes along the way we may lose our path, we may lose our idea of what we want. And if you start having experiences that are negative, sometimes people just sit in that and just think that that is just the way it is and just accept it. So how do you shift out of that? So today, that's what we're going to dive into. So my name is Marsha Wall again. I am a transformational life coach. I help women tune in spiritually and reset their attraction patterns for success in life and love. So the idea of resetting your attraction patterns, we are always attracting. We are surrounded by so many things, and our thoughts attract to us. The words that we speak attract to us the things that we desire. So we're always creating, we're always attracting. And sometimes we do have these unhealthy attraction patterns that are tied in with the whole attraction process. So one of the key things in getting really clear about your desires and getting really clear, helps you to attract the things that comes to you for your good. So this does not mean that you're going to go through life once you have this figured out and everything is going to be rosy. No, challenges are a part of the growth processes. But when you know how to handle the challenges, that is what is key. And that is what helps you to even move faster through your soul journey and your growth in life. So one other thing as a transformational life coach that I do is now I don't just work from the physical, what's going on around you in your life, but I also dive into your psyche, into the spiritual part of you too, and listen to you. And as you explain more to me, and as I see your actions and your words and your language, which your body speak, so our body also has its way of speaking. I put all of that together to help you to find a solution and to fine tune and to see if we can really break through. But it takes work. It takes work. And it takes the strong desire that you are no longer wanting to live that kind of life anymore. So one other thing for me, whenever I'm ready to create something, when I start to feel discomfort in my life, and again, discomfort is also a good thing. It's the universe telling you that this is not your final place. So for example, you may have a job for 5-10 years and suddenly you don't feel that spark anymore. There's this coworker that just keeps annoying you, or you just don't feel, there's just that discomfort, you don't feel the joy. That is your soul gnawing at you. That is your soul telling you it's time to start creating. It is time to start looking. What is the next step? So one other thing that I love to do is create vision boards, because I'm a visual person. So learning how you receive information is also key. Some of us are auditory. We have to hear it. Some of us, we have to feel it. Some of us, we have to see it. What I think, I love using vision board because it goes across all barriers. Because when you create a vision, when you look at it, it will invoke a feeling. And then you can speak a story to the vision, which activate your auditory sense, your auditory way of tuning in. So if you're at a crossroads, I should say, and you're trying to decide, okay, what's the next step? I feel uncomfortable. I want to change my life, but I don't know what's the first step. I'd ask you to start by creating a vision. Identify pictures that relates to what the experience you'd want to have. People that are around you, check out your surroundings, the people are around you that you admire, aspects of their life that you admire, that if you were experiencing that, it would bring you some joy. And then journal is another way. Start journaling. How would it feel if, say, for example, you wanted a certain type of car? How would it feel driving that car? What would it take for me to get that car? How would I feel right now if that car just comes to me, if I just get it as a gift? How would it make me feel? So, activating the feeling, activating the visual, activating all the senses, that helps you to tune in and gives you clarity. For me, on my journey at one point when I was living in Chicago and I was starting to feel grave discomfort, it wasn't just about it being cold, and I just was at a point where I was really unhappy. Like, all the things that I built around me to make me feel happy and comfortable started to make me feel uncomfortable. It was no longer fulfilling what I want. And I was clinging to it because I loved my life in Chicago. It was great. I was serving in ministry. I had, good friends, my godparents. I have godparents there, and my best friends were there. And I just started to feel like, how can I leave this? Why am I not feeling really uncomfortable? And I really had to get really clear with myself. And the element that was missing for me in my life was a relationship. I wanted to be in a loving relationship. I wanted to find a man that loves me for me. At the time I was in church, so I kept decreeing that I wanted a man that will love me like Christ loved the church. And of course, I will respect him like the word says. You need, as women, we should respect. And so I tried to hone in on that. A part of me was resisting because I wanted to continue to be the independent woman. I was successful career-wise, at a nice place. I was happy. I was serving the ministry at a good place with God. But I also, reflecting back, I wasn't in a good place with God. I felt that there was more to God that I was missing out on, that I wasn't experiencing. So I also started to feel discomfort in the ministry. I started to feel discomfort not attracting my right and perfect husband, and I was feeling very lonely. So those were 3 areas that really got my attention. And I'm grateful that I was truthful to myself, and grateful that I was brave enough to admit that it wasn't enough. The things that I created wasn't enough, and not judge myself that I created this life, and it wasn't enough. As I said, I work with vision boards. So before going to Chicago, before moving, I had a vision board of my life, of the things I wanted to experience there. One of the things that I wanted to experience was having an apartment overlooking the lake. People thought I was crazy. They were like, it's expensive. It won't never happen. It happened with grace and ease. And so when it was time, when I was feeling this real hardcore discomfort, and I knew I needed to move, one other thing that I did was I created a vision board in my moment of pain. So in my moment of pain, and I've shown this before, I created this vision board. And the vision board, sorry, I keep my lighting. This vision board had the car that I wanted to have. I wanted to get married. So here's my wedding ring. I wanted to be somewhere where it's warm, no more snow, and I wanted a nice home. And this was in my haste, in my pain, I created this vision board. Now, it doesn't look all fancy, and the things that I know now is I should have put my picture in the middle, but I put my heart's desire in the middle, which was the key thing was I wanted to be married. I wanted to find my right and perfect love for me. And so having my vision board, in the days when I was like really low and sad, I would look at my vision board and envision myself in this warm place with this amazing man having an amazing home. That vision started to stir up. I think I created this vision board. I created it I didn't date it on here. But so sorry, I thought I dated it. But I created a vision board, so I had a plan. And it seemed impossible. I ended up moving to Hawaii, and I did have the dates on here for when I moved, June 6, 2010. And then I did get married May 30th, 2015. And I now have my beautiful home October 1st, 2018. And I got my BMW X4 June 29, 2020. And so this vision board, I bless it because it's now retired and I have a new vision. But my point to you is that you need to have a vision of what you want. And so again, getting a clear vision, find a way to create the new story. So you're going to start telling yourself a new story. If you're feeling like, oh, I cannot attract any right man or right woman, start telling yourself that I am magnificent. I am a great catch. Anybody that finds me and dates me is dating the best. I am the woman that every man wants. And I am worthy to receive. And I am going to get what I want because I deserve it. I am it. So it's like speaking these things to yourself over and over, writing out these power statements, and we call them affirmation. But you need to create the power statement that works for you. For a long time for me, one of my power statement was that I am beautiful, I am whole, I am strong, I am powerful. And even days when I don't feel myself, that has been my power statement that gets me back in alignment. And I got that power statement, I had to create it, I believe it was 2009 while I was in Chicago. And I didn't realize, people look at me and they're like, oh, you're beautiful. But people didn't realize that there was a time in my life where I did not feel beautiful. I did not feel that I was attractive. I did not feel that I could attract anyone because I wasn't. And I was carrying around that vibration. And I remember there was a function at church and I was in the ladies' room and there was this pastor, the visiting pastor's wife was there. And she said to me, you are so beautiful. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And she's like, you are so beautiful. And I went home and I looked up a scripture there was a scripture in Isaiah that says, how beautiful are the feet of those that bring good news. And I started to greet all of my friends as beautiful. So we had this whole trend, and if you're watching this and you know the story, if you're a part of one of my subscriber of greeting everybody as beautiful, like, hey, beautiful Marsha, beautiful Sonia, beautiful Michelle. And me doing that, I started to get my beautiful energy back and I started to feel beautiful again. And it shifted my life because shortly after I did meet a guy, a wonderful guy, and he helped to reinforce my word in me, which everybody's saying you should be strong in yourself, but sometimes we do need that outside validation. And he came at the right time. And that's another thing that I say to my client, our soul brings to you the person that you need to get you to the next level. And so sometimes that person is supposed to grow with you through a lifetime, or sometimes it's to grow through a season. So your soul is what calls to you your relationship, the next step, the next level. And so, yes, that relationship helped me to see myself in a different way, to, start to feel feminine again, awaken that feminine desire, feminine energy. Because one of the things as women that we forget is that our sexual energy works with our attraction. It helps with our attraction and bringing things to us. Your sexual energy shouldn't be activated only when you're in a relationship. Your sexual energy should always be present. And one of the sad things, I was talking to a female friend of mine one day, and she said to me, oh, I don't need to activate that because I don't have a partner right now. I'm not going to use it. And it blew my mind because you should always have your sexual energy going, because that is your creative force. It's your creative force. That's how you bring another human being into existence. It is such a powerful thing. And so there is a way to activate that without, in a pure way that is divine. It is not taboo to have sexual energy and to feel sexy as a Christian woman or as a spiritual woman. And that is one of the taboo that had to be broken down. Because for me, I remember when Paula White came on the scene, and I connected with her so much because there was a powerful woman in God who was spiritual, connected to God, and sexy. She was attractive, she was sexy. And then there was Juanita Bynum, sexy, spiritual, attractive. And it almost seems like even saying those words that was taboo, like sexiness and God don't go together. But they do. Sexiness and God goes together because God is the creative force of divine. If you read the book Songs of Solomon, God is just, there's all this sexual energy in the Songs of Solomon, which is even talking about God, the sexual connection with the divine, as well as between man and woman coming together in harmony, in sexual, harmony. And sex is not just the harmony, the sexual energy is not just about the man and woman coming together. It's that creative force when humans come together and activate that. So activate your sexual energy, because that is also drawing to you the things that you desire. And, do a journal how you are feeling daily, because that will help you to tap into the story that you're feeding yourself. What are you feeding yourself about your desire? What are you feeding yourself about your life? What are you feeding yourself about the things that are possible for you? And so I hope, again, this information was helpful. As we continue on the series, I'm going to do a series on, how do you know what you want if you don't know what it looks like? If this is really helpful to you, feel free to leave a comment below. I appreciate all comments, and I go through and I take my time to respond to everyone. I appreciate all my subscribers. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And, I appreciate every one of you. Aloha, malama pono, which means take care in Hawaiian. Until we meet again, ahuyo.